the opportunity to go back to my club, my boyhood club, want something that I care so much about, it was a no-brainer.
I keep talking about the way he drives the standards in training. He's a massive part of this football club.
Going out there and putting the shirt on was almost like coming full circle for me and completing the journey back.
Hello and welcome to Inside Carrington. We're here in the Graduate Lounge today, a space separate from the main first team building and a perfect setting for our guest today, who came and joined our academy aged 11 and is still going strong now at 39 years of age. Goalkeeper Tom Heaton will be joining us very soon. I'm Helen Evans. Alongside me is Liam Bradford as always, and Phil Jones to his left, who has taken a little podcast sabbatical over the last 2 weeks. Good to have you back, Phil.
Thank you.
You've been a busy man. I got really excited today when we came in because there was Christmas dinner. And no one else.
And you devoured it.
I did. And no one else got excited as I did. But first, I hadn't had lunch. Second, I love a Christmas dinner.
I think.
I didn't realise how much you like Brussels sprouts, by the way.
I think we should tell the full story here. So earlier today, Helen, trying to be organised, decides to send everybody a message saying, can we make sure that we're ready to go? Everybody, we need to make sure that we're ready to go for when Tom gets here, because I think it'd be more natural.
Who was the last to arrive?
Helen. And who was the last one to get in their chair because they were devouring Christmas dinner?
Helen.
That would be Helen as well.
Also, can I just say, I did say it in a kinder way than that in the group.
It was very, it wasn't.
But yeah, I got really excited about the Christmas dinner, which brings me on, the stuffing was really good. Phil didn't have any. Yeah. Professional athlete, as always, Phil.
I'd had my lunch.
I know, but even if I had lunch, I still would have had a Christmas dinner. No?
No, it didn't stop me. I went straight in for the turkey.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
So yeah, we are in the Graduate Lounge today. We came in, there was Christmas dinner, very exciting, but there's also crackers. So we thought we'd get into the festive spirit and pull a cracker.
You do that way and do this way as well at the same time. 3, 2, 1.
Yes. Sorry, Phil.
Johnny, you have it.
It's all you.
We're not going to do the Christmas hat, but what I am going to tell you is that these are not just normal crackers.
Lob this at the producer's head.
These are really, really posh crackers, right? So take out the leaflet. Oh, you didn't get? Oh, you did get one.
No. I gave it to Phil because I'm a.
So the leaflet says, by appointment to His Majesty the King, suppliers of Christmas crackers and wrapping paper.
It's the worst joke I've ever heard.
Tom Smith Group. So these Christmas crackers also go to Buckingham Palace, I suppose, on Christmas Day. Not just your average cracker at Carrington.
There you go.
And at the back it says, why are Christmas trees bad at sowing? We had that joke earlier, so Phil, what's your joke?
Mine is, who does Santa call when his sleigh breaks down? The abdominal toeman.
The abominable toeman. Yeah, I mean,
it's very...
That's dreadful.
We should have just went with the one I knew. Why are Christmas trees bad at sowing?
Why are Christmas trees bad at sowing? Why are they bad at sowing?
I've also got a would you rather. Would you rather be a dog or a cat?
You just killed my punchline moment.
It's all right. We've tried to get this punchline out twice and we've got nowhere near it.
They're always dropping the needles.
I was going to say, let's just leave it and we'll go in the comments section. Like, just put it down below.
Right, okay, quick trivia.
Yeah,
right, Phil, go. Sorry, you were going to give trivia, weren't you?
No, he's got
would you rather. I've got a
would you rather.
Would you rather be a dog or a cat?
Oh, dog. Every day.
Cats are
sly and
trusty.
Evil. Yeah.
Okay, I've got one. Trivia, which is sport. To the closest mile, how long is the course of the boat race?
Ooh.
It's not something I watch, so I'll be stabbing the dark.
If I was, go on.
I'll go 35 miles.
I'm not sure it's that far. I think it's probably about 13 miles.
Do you know what? This has surprised me as well. It's only 4 miles.
Ooh, wow.
4 miles and 374 yards, to be precise.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the different boat race, but whatever. Yeah.
And do you know what? Whilst we're on it, what were you thinking of?
There's a different boat race.
This is like my family's Christmas dinner. Yeah.
Okay, we'll end on another one. Would you rather always have a really slow internet connection or always get stuck in traffic?
Oh, I'm not going to lie. Having no Wi-Fi would do my head in. So I'm going to say I'd rather get stuck in traffic, as painful as that is as well.
I would agree. I'd be the same.
They are two of the most stressful things in my life. And trying to put one above the other is
Well, you have to, Liam.
I suppose if I get stuck in traffic, at least I can find something else to do. I can make a couple of phone calls, or I can listen to a podcast, or
I actually love being in
Can't-
my car, though. It's like nice and warm and
that.
cosy, so it doesn't bother me.
I
being in
can't stand
traffic.
I hate driving, me. Hate it.
Do you?
I get bored driving.
I love driving.
I love driving too.
If there's anywhere that I don't have to drive, I won't drive.
I love driving. In fact, being in the car is one of my favourite places.
The things
warm.
you learn on Inside Carrington. So
I
if you
know.
ever see Helen Evans just circling your estate, you don't need to panic. She's just enjoying herself.
Smiling away at the wheel.
I don't love it that much, but yeah, let's move on. We are in the graduate lounge today, and behind you, Liam, I'll let you point in the right direction if
Bottom
you're
right-hand
listening.
corner. Yeah.
This is a wall of Academy graduate names, and in a picture on the wall is Tyler Fredrickson, who is number 254. But Liam, you're going to point out.
Yeah, so bottom right-hand corner, just below Ted and Mengi, just above Dangor and in between Will Fish and Zidane Iqbal is the one and only Tom Heaton. And yeah, can have a lovely chat, aren't we? It's going to be great.
I know that you know Tom pretty well, Phil. You've shared dressing room with him, you're friends with him. Tell us a little bit more about him.
Yeah, he's as humble as you'll meet. Brilliant character, great guy, great family man, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and he's passionate about his football. And I'm looking forward to speaking to him.
So am I the only person that doesn't have a personal relationship with Tom Heaton in the room?
Well, you will after this.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy, I guess.
He is. He's a great guy. Let's welcome today's guest then. He first attended our Centre of Excellence at 11 years old and stayed with the club until 2010. He left for first team football at Cardiff, Aston Villa, Burnley, and then he of course came back here in 2021. So let's welcome goalkeeper Tom Heaton. Inside Carrington is presented by United Store, the official home of exclusive United merchandise.
Absolutely brilliant to have Tom Heaton, second goalkeeper of this current season that we've had along for the podcast. Thanks very much for coming and spending a bit of time with us, Tom.
No, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Look, we're going to try and talk a little bit about your time at the club since coming back. I wonder whether we could start with similarities, differences between when you left and when you returned?
Yeah, I think it was a 11 or 12 year gap from leaving to coming back. I think the first thing that was apparent straight away was the size of the football club had grown. You know, it had grown exponentially, really, in every department. You know, it was a real sort of massive wheel of operation, really. So, yeah, I think that was the first thing that hit me.
You trained at Littleton Road, I would imagine, and a bit of time at the Cliff potentially. You probably just about moved into Carrington when it first opened, and then you've come back, and whilst you've been here, it's turned into this, and it's incredible, isn't it? This new facility.
Yeah, it is. I think it's fitting for the sort of, you know, where the club's at and the level of the football club. You know, I think the facilities now sort of fit that mould. Albeit, you know, when we first moved in, I think it had been open a year or so when I started full time, back I think 2001 time, somewhere around there. So yeah, you know, that was the same sort of feeling, really. It felt like it was a real, you know, step to the sort of future, a real good foundation to go and perform from at that time. And again, I think this feels very similar.
Tom, 39 years of age.
Thanks, Helen.
Sorry to bring that up quite quickly. One of the elder statesmen in the team.
One of.
It's just getting worse, isn't it?
Brilliant.
You must be missing having Johnny around, actually.
No, I honestly, I really am. I'm massively missing Johnny, I have to say. He made me feel a lot better most days.
Well, he's only 38.
I know, but still.
But how does it feel to be that elder statesman in the squad? Do you enjoy that role?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been a sort of naturally grown into it. Admittedly, you know, you say 39, I sort of, you know, I almost fall off my chair when you say it. Really, I don't feel it, which I think is probably why I'm still playing and still here. So I think that's important. But yeah, certainly enjoy that sort of side of it. You know, there's also the old thing of, you know, once you're in and amongst Man United first team, doesn't matter if you're 15 or 43. You know, you get treated the same. I think it's really important. I think I can perhaps offer some sort of experience, different footballing experience, different ideas, perhaps guide a few of the younger ones, certainly try to. So yeah, I've sort of naturally tried to mould into that role as time has gone on.
I don't think you probably appreciate how much you are appreciated by the squad. Is that fair to say? Phil, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't know, embarrassing.
No, but I think it's important to say. You know, you're a very humble guy, but Phil,
I think what I will
that?
say is Tom sort of epitomises what Man United is all about. He understands the club, he understands the DNA, the structure of the club, how it runs, how it works. Like he said then, he's so infectious in the dressing room, and you can't. It's invaluable. You can't put a price on that. And the way he was dry. I was fortunate to share the dressing room with him for a couple of years, and in training, the way he drives his standards, and he commands respect from the players. Respect him so much, and he's pivotal to what Man United is all about.
It's really interesting to me that you're probably one of the last touchstones for this first team squad. You're thinking about that Sir Alex Ferguson era, or maybe a little bit later on. That to have that inside the squad, and Johnny was certainly one of those when he was here, is vitally important, isn't it, for the youngsters to maybe understand where the club has come from, and as well as where they're heading to.
No, it's massively important, and I obviously appreciate both of your sentiments, and fully understand it. I think you're dead right. Phil understood that, and a big part of that, Johnny certainly, about the values of the football club, the standards, the demands. And I think it was important that we continue that on. Of course, it evolves. Where we're at and where we want to go. It's important that we involve with that without losing the fundamental idea of what the football club's about and why it means so much to so many people. So yeah, if I'm a small part of that, that's fantastic. I think from my point of view, that's a side of it that I certainly try and do. But first and foremost, I think the focus has to be on being a player. Look, I think you can't be a Man United player under any circumstances without fulfilling that playing role. So that's always the priority in my eyes, making sure that I'm doing the work on the grass. Not played many games, in the last few years. However, it's important to be ready. And I think first and foremost, without that, the rest of the stuff's irrelevant, really. So that's the starting point. And you are right in what you say. Try and fulfil that role, and certainly guide and help and support some of the younger ones and some of the older ones as well. With what and how Man United should be, of course, from my point of view and what I grew up with. But it becomes ingrained in you.
Do you know? I remember, because Tom's wife and I are really good friends, and I remember being outside the gym, and it just came out of the blue. I hadn't heard from you, but she said, "Oh, he's had inquiries about Man United," and I was like, "What? Oh my goodness, 100%, no matter what it is." And I still remember that conversation. It feels like you never left whenever I look back, because how many years have you been here in your return? 5?
So I'm into 5, yeah.
5 years.
5.
And as they say, the rest is history. It just feels like you never left, almost in a way. You obviously had a big spell out. You mentioned how many years, but that moment for you, maybe you were unsure, thinking how much playing time you were going to get at that time, but you must reflect and think, this is the best decision of my career.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Man United's been a massive part and is a massive part of my life. You signed here as 11 years old. I left at 24. Yeah, I went and had 12 years away and thoroughly enjoyed every single year of that. Go to play first team football in the Premier League, playing for England when I wasn't here. But I think coming back, I was at an interesting point. I was 35. I'd had 2 years at Aston Villa. The first 6 months have been incredible. One of my frustrations, I think, when I first left was not playing competitively for the first team. So you're 35, I still feel good, but I'm coming back from a long-term injury. The opportunity to go back to my club, my boyhood club, want something that I care so much about. Also for my sort of carrot of, I could go and try and play competitively here for the first team. So it was a no-brainer. And yeah, it's probably been, other than the playing side, which, is a big drive for me. Phil knows me well that's always been my driver. But other than that, it's been incredible, really.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, can I take you back to 2021 then?
Yeah.
Young boys, you get the nod.
Yeah.
You pull the shirt on. What's that feeling like, walking out to play that game?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Ralph Rangnick was a manager at the time. Obviously, Champions League. I think it was the last 30 minutes I came on for. But for me, it was just an incredible moment. I'd been back to Old Trafford numerous times. which felt special, obviously. But I think going out there and putting the shirt on, was almost like coming full circle for me and completing the journey back. It really felt an incredible moment, and one that I wanted to do, and I was pleased to achieve it.
And you followed that up with a game against Charlton. That's been the next competitive game that you played in. Had a good game in that one as well, and that one from the start in front of Old Trafford. That's another special moment, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I think coming on the sub and then starting the Charlton game. And then a few weeks later, I think that was in the Carabao Cup in the quarter-final, and then Forest a few weeks later in the semi-final, which we ended up being successful and winning the competition. So yeah, it was brilliant. And it's important to me to deliver a performance. It's what you work every day for. So I was pleased with how they went. But again, it sort of feeds back into the priority of making sure you're doing the right work, making sure you're ready. And I also think, on the other side of that, when you talk about being a senior player and a sort of influential figure in the dressing room, certainly try and be. I think when players see that you're perhaps not playing as much as you'd like, but you're doing the work properly and you're getting through the right things, anywhere in the world that gets respect. And I think it's an important part of, showing people what's right, really.
Is that something that you think you found more difficult than what you thought? Not necessarily playing every week. How do you balance that feeling? How difficult is it for you?
Yeah, it's tough. Don't get me wrong. Over the first 5 years, there's been sort of, it's probably tailed off a little bit as you get older. You sort of fit into the role a little bit. But in the first year or two, it was challenging, really challenging.
I think it's important to point out the fact that we talk about how infectious he is in the dressing room and stuff like that. And again, I don't want to embarrass him, but I think we need to highlight what an incredible goalkeeper he is on the pitch as well, and the career that you've had, and incredible career at so many different clubs and played at so many important games. And mate, I've got to say, it's probably one of the best professionals I've probably played with.
Oh, guys.
That's nice, Phil. Cheers, pal. Thanks, man. That's nice.
Can you say something back about Phil?
Please help me out.
Just anything at all, Tom.
You got nice hair.
Yeah, Kier's lovely, lad.
No, I mean it. He's probably one of the best professionals I play with every single day, turning up the way, the application he has in training, and I keep talking about the way he drives the standards in training. He's a massive part of this football club. And
disciplined. I should say that Tom eats the same thing for every pre-match meal. Do you remember? I was at his house one day and it was the match day and I said, "What are you having?" What was it?
Well, to be fair, through my career, it's only changed once, Hel. So it was beans on toast for the first 10 years, and it's rice and chicken plain now for the second.
No, this was a brunch type breakfast.
Was it? It still would have been that.
Do you know what it was? I've just remembered. It was a grapefruit.
Oh yeah, boiled egg and grapefruit on the match day.
Boiled egg and grapefruit. See?
Yeah,
that's a weird concoction.
That's impressive, yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Johnny was eating like bacon buddies, and you were eating.
Johnny can get away with it though.
Grapefruit and poached eggs, and also a very disciplined person, because every time I've been to Tom's house, he's doing a course or a call on something. Fact.
Yeah, that has probably been fair. I think that's coincided with this sort of, if I sort of have an idea that I might not be involved in the starting 11, then you almost find something that can fill the void a little bit. I'd much rather be playing, but it's sort of, it can serve as a little bit of a distraction, and also in the long run try and help you thinking and also help the younger lads.
I wonder. I know the answer to this question because I've read an article where I know what you've said. For lesser people, there may be some that would have regrets about making the decision that you made to come back. Any regrets from you?
No. I don't think so. I think because of the stage of my career where I was at, and the moment I was at, and then coming back through the door, I can't lie, there has been frustrations where I would have liked to have played more, but at the same time, do I regret coming? No, I don't. I honestly don't. So it is a balancing act. There were a few moments where I nearly left to go and play some games, but it didn't materialise and it didn't feel right, and staying at the football club was the right decision, so that's where it was at. And
you are part of the senior leadership team here. Are you top dog in that senior leadership team?
Gotta be, sure.
Depends who you ask.
So who's in that? That's you, Bruno, Diogo,
Leacher,
and
Noose.
And Noose Mazraoui.
Yeah. I've not missed one there, have I? Oh, no, Harry. Yeah, nearly.
Important, integral part. Do you enjoy that side of it?
Yeah, I do actually. I think the manager started the leadership group at the start of the season, gave in front of all the lads, or just made it very clear to everyone that they were going to have a big influence on the dressing room. And you say leadership group, leading, what's leading about, influence, supporting and guiding, motivating. So, it's sort of the basis to try and move us forward as a team, move us closer to the success that they all want at the football club. So yes, do I enjoy it? Yes, I do.
I've never seen a group of people more together than in America over the summer. I think you've said, haven't you, one of the best pre-season tours you've ever done, but there was a level of culture and camaraderie that went on out there that really took me by surprise.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think pre-season was incredible, really, in terms of that. We've definitely moved that forward. There's still work to do, but we've definitely moved that forward. I think, to your point, I couldn't agree with you more, but I think one of the big things that helps with that is winning. Winning makes it like, it changes the mindset. We're striving to get back to that. We're making some good inroads to it, but that's certainly the driver, is getting back to winning, and then things change. The mindset's changed, the belief flows in, and as I say, we're fighting at the minute to get back to that.
What about the new signings this summer and the impact they've had? How much have they impressed you?
Yeah, they've been excellent actually. All bring something different. I think obviously Mateus, fantastic footballer. Little bit of a maverick the way he plays. He's difficult to play against, but he's also brought a real good energy into the dressing room. To be honest, he's been superb. Brian, obviously brilliant at Brentford, really effective in what he does. As I say, hard to play against, and a real good human being. All four signings have brought something different into the club. I think Ben up front, really does look the part. He'll be fantastic for the football club. Real good lad, and obviously Senna, who I've obviously worked really close with. And I've said before, been really impressed with how he's gone about his business. Not easy as a 23-year-old coming to playing goal at Man United. A lot of people have spoken about the challenge he's playing as a goalie at this club, but he's embraced that really well so far, and I've been impressed.
He's another one that spoke in glowing terms about Tom, isn't he? When he came on the podcast.
Do you know whenever people mostly mention your name in those little social clips that go out on the channel, and they're like worst
dresser.
Oh,
hell, what's happening here?
Did someone say you the other day?
Probably,
I think that's why it came to my mind.
More than likely, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying about how appreciated you are. And I don't know whether that was the question about the worst dresser.
Definitely was.
No, that's the one I usually get, actually, but it is what it is. I don't know where people go after training. They come in the best gear.
Come in a tracksuit.
I'm going home after this. Where are you going? In your best gear with your shoes and your jeans and that.
Well, I think you look very smart today, Tom.
Yeah, it's the club gear.
It's his best gear.
I like that. The slightly purple stuff.
It's nice.
Doing all right, isn't it?
It's nice.
Yeah.
I mentioned before about how you're always doing courses. You're very well educated. You are.
Thanks. Yeah. Cheers.
Talk us through what you've done and what kind of the aspirations are for you since doing a lot of those courses, which I know Phil has done quite a lot of them as well.
Yeah. Phil and I have just finished the sporting director course this year, so that just.
Who got a higher mark?
Sorry, Phil. Sorry, mate. I've
he had a better group. He saw him do it for him.
Yeah,
no, he didn't. He's very.
We had a good.
Did you get the better mark though?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Just want to clear that up.
He's very intelligent as Tom.
We nicked it. You did well, to be fair.
I did well.
Very well.
I did enough.
So that was the most recent one. I think before that I did executive leadership, which was like a short course from Oxford Uni. I've done my B licence goalkeeper coach, B licence outfield, A licence outfield, a certificate of football management from UEFA. Done a few different things, to be honest, over the years, just to sort of upskill in areas sort of off the pitch that might not fully understand, and it's been a good journey. I think met some brilliant people along the way. Still not 100% sure exactly which direction I'm going to go after I finish playing. As I still feel quite good at this moment in time, but of course it's coming at some point. So, yeah, I'm open-minded. Hels is the honest answer.
What would you say when you reflect on your career is the best thing about being a goalkeeper?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I noticed that both your boys, you didn't push them into goalkeeping, did you?
I'll be honest, no, I didn't. I literally actively kept them out of goal, if I'm honest. Youth football, kids football as a goalkeeper is brutal, to be fair. So the best thing about it, I think, I from my point of view, I love performing. So I love performing well. So that would be the first thing. I think specifically when you talk about goalkeeping, penalty saves are a big one. Mm-hmm. Big sort of saves in your career, I think, are another thing that stands out for you. But it's a tough position. It's a tough position in my view because it's reactive. You can never, if you're not an outfield, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but you can defend is slightly different, but you can go and affect it, can't you?
Yeah. I remember the game we played at Old Trafford when he was at Burnley.
Yeah.
And he got the man of the match, and we literally threw everything at him. He must have had, that must have been one of your best games you've ever had.
Of course.
Everything he was saving, top corner, coming out for crosses, just could not score past you.
Yeah. Days like that are the better days. But, it's a challenging position just because you're reactive to what's going on. And you're the last line of defence. So if something goes wrong, inevitably it ends in a goal.
Which is going to happen at some point.
And that is a big moment. Yeah. That's it. And that's why, for me, resilience as a goalkeeper and having the strength of character are the biggest thing.
You got a rhino skin.
Exactly. Yeah. It will happen. Of course, you don't want to do it, but it will happen at some point over a period of time. So I did also quite like embracing that, really. If you in the cold light of day accept that at some point it's going to happen, you're obviously trying to embrace the game and perform and deliver well. But then when it happens, if you've already accepted it's going to happen at some point,
you can deal with it a little bit better.
Yeah, you can.
It's hard to deal with still, but you've got more of the capacity there to deal with it.
Exactly.
But that must come with age too.
Yeah, a bit. Age, mentality, experience. I think you're right. A little bit of maturity, but it's a challenge. When you're stood in front of 75,000. And it's the 89th minute and your team have played really well and then you've let one go through your hands. It's not a nice place to be. But it does drive character, it does drive strength, it then pushes you on to perform more, and it will happen. I try and say that to young goalkeepers all the time. You have to be able to deal with that, and you have to be able to accept it, because also it could happen in the first minute. And what are you going to do after that for the rest of the 89 minutes? So, yeah, I actually weirdly quite enjoy that side of it, the strength in the face of adversity.
Do you think, like when you look at Senna Lommans, for example, who is now widely known that he keeps a journal and he writes things down before games and after games, all of that sounds like exactly what you're talking about, is building methods into your approach that allow you to have that rhino skin, as Phil called it. It's quite impressive for such a young goalkeeper to be doing that, isn't it? I think no surprise at 23 he's coming in and done really well. I think he and I have a similar sort of way of looking at things, certainly goalkeeping. So I didn't know that about the journal, but it doesn't surprise me one bit. And I can really see the benefit for him doing it. Also gives you a little bit of closure. You're able to move on rather than, football's a 24/7 thing these days. So you've got to be able to put closure to it and move forward.
You've got to find the right balance. You've got to separate yourself from that.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
You've got to really separate, and you got to. You can't just say it in your head and not do. You have to do that. You have to separate yourself from that.
Yeah.
And especially even more so as a goalkeeper.
100%. And it's probably better than I do that. There's all sorts of personalities. That method might not work for everyone. It won't work for everyone. You've got to know yourself, know how you tick, know how you respond to things to then be able to put the tools in place. But it's not a one size fits all. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different method, a different thought process, a different strategy. So you've got to know that before you then really look at what tools you can put in place for yourself.
I just want to ask you one more question before you do leave us. What does Manchester United mean to you?
Talk about a big question.
I know, I
should have a big question.
Asked you in advance.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'd say it's a massive part of my life. I know I started the interview with something similar, really, but having spent such a long time here, care so much for the football club, spent majority of my life coming through the doors here. Yeah, I'd just say it's a massive part of me as a person.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Tom. Inside Carrington is brought to you by United Store, where you can shop the biggest selection of festive United gifts. Kick off the holiday season with United Store. 100% official, 100% United.
That was Tom Heaton joining us. And remember, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Inside Carrington and feel free to leave us a comment on your podcast platform of choice and we will see it. Also leave us a rating if you fancy that too. So Tom Heaton there, and I think, Phil, you summed it up when you said that Tom epitomises everything that Manchester United is.
Yeah, it's difficult when he's there. You don't want to embarrass him, but he's listen. I played with Tom for 2 or 3 years. He's a terrific pro. The application he brings to the game, to the squad, to the team, he understands everything about the club. He understands what it takes to play for this club, the pressures that it comes with playing for this club, and his experience and his knowledge is invaluable. And yeah, I can't speak highly enough of him, and I think everyone would say the same as well.
I think what's fascinating for me about him is that he plays so many different roles inside the club. Not only is he, third choice in inverted commas keeper, really important in and around training sessions, part of the senior leadership team in terms of what's happening on the grass, drive standards in training, mentor, helper. Sometimes father figure in the group. Like it's just such a broad range, and I don't think you can put a sort of price on how important that is.
It's invaluable. I think the way he sees the game as well. So, if you're in a game at Old Trafford and you half time, the manager's done his little talk or whatever. Like he's somebody who you would. Well, I used to do. I would go to him like, "What do you think about this position?" Because obviously he's a goalkeeper, so he can tell you from his perspective of where he would think you should be, or his knowledge is, I said, is invaluable. He's a wonderful professional, and he's a great lad as well.
Do defenders and goalkeepers have a little bond?
Yeah, because
like leave the midfielders and strikers out.
Yeah, because you're ultimately there to prevent goals going in the net, and you want the clean sheet. You take pride in clean sheets and keeping. We're trying to block as many shots and force them wider than they should be to make the angle narrower, so it makes it easy for the keeper to save. And I think we always have not a stronger relationship, but a more of a knitted relationship than probably the midfielders and the forwards.
Can I ask a nerdy football question?
Go for it.
If you know that your goalkeeper's right-footed, do you play the ball back to his right foot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a conscious I'm playing?
Yeah, and even if I've received the ball, say in a right back position, I know in the back of my mind I've already got a picture where Tom will be because of the position he'd want to take up, the angle he'd want to receive the pass at, obviously to his right foot as well. There might be a few times where Stitch do up on his left foot, but yeah, definitely.
So I find it's just the kind of thing that when you're watching football casually, you might not even realise. But if you're in the right back position and you want to play it back to his right foot, say even better, if you're in the left back position and you're trying to play it to his right foot, you're almost going to play it slightly in front of him and across him so he can get the best purchase on the ball with that right foot. And that's a conscious decision every time you play a pass back.
It's the details, but it's massive.
I thought it was really interesting what Tom was saying, Phil, and you're probably the only other person in the room that can understand that. You're the only person that's been a footballer. How difficult it probably is at times when you're not playing.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. It's not a nice place to be. But ultimately, you have to be as positive as you can because that has an effect on the rest of the team and their preparation for the games and the big games they've got coming up. It's difficult to manage, but you have to find a way to get through that. And, Tom's coped with it incredibly well. His maturity, his knowledge in the game has allowed him to cope with that. And have the tools to deal with that, but for sure it's not an easy place to be, and it's difficult.
Well, it's really interesting that take on it because you have to be happy for other people playing, raise them up, get them prepared for the game, but also deal with your own disappointment at the same time.
Not
many people probably will do that.
Yeah, you look at the goalkeeper situation. You can only play one goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You've got two fullbacks, you've got 2 or 3 centre-halves, whichever system you want to play. So, there's always going to be that competition. I think he obviously knew that when he came back into the club, but I think that shows you the size and the magnitude of this football club, that he still wanted to come back in and still has the passion and the drive to want to play, and still now you can see the passion when he's talking. You can see how much he cares about the club. And listen, if God forbid, but if there was injuries or whatever, Tom's a terrific goalkeeper and has been for many, many years and still is. He's a brilliant pro.
I think he'll look back on it and realise that it's a supremely intelligent move to make that journey back to Manchester United when he did. He's the link between the playing staff and the coaching staff. He's really important in terms of leadership. It's given him the opportunity to see what coaching is like out on the grass. It's given him the opportunity to do the courses that you were pointing out in the interview. And all of a sudden, through maybe having a little bit more of a helicopter view of what's going on, he's set himself up for the next phase of his career. And I think when he looks back, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he'll look at it and go, actually, that was really...
I actually don't think now he realises, and you don't until you're sort of out of it or on the peripheral of it, but that he doesn't realise how many players in that dressing room will rely on him for help, for information, and he'd probably just see that as going about his day, but he adds so much to that squad.
Yes, great guy, great professional, as Phil said there. Let's catch up with a few comments from you, the listener, beginning with Ian. He says, it's great to see Wes Brown on this podcast series and hear him talk about his time at the club. Don't worry, Phil, that wasn't in relation to you not being here and Wes replacing you.
It's okay.
You're very much appreciated. And Mr. Griffin says, I hope by January we can get an athletic holding box-to-box midfielder and also one more attacker to strengthen the team's bench. Come on, you Reds. What's your thoughts on that, Phil?
Yeah, I think January is always a difficult transfer window to get the personnel you're probably looking for. Teams are very reluctant to sell in January, especially to sort of your rivals as well, who are competing for the same as what you are. I don't think we will be in the market for anyone. I don't think so, because I think we've got our plan, we've got our structure. I think that will be at the end of the season. I don't think we'd rush into any, unless it was blatantly obvious that they were going to make the team. Unless they're going to make the team better and they can see that and see where they're going to fit in. I can't see any big names coming in January, is what I'd say.
Who's the best January signing we've had here? I can think of Evra, Vidic, Bruno.
Obviously, Bruno's got to be. Yeah, Vida, unbelievable.
I know you're saying you don't get. But again, I big one in January, but they were.
No, but I just don't. I think where the squad is at, where the thing, I can't see it happening.
We don't have European football.
Yeah.
The other thing is that when you look at Evra and Vidic coming into the football club, had a fairly disastrous start. The first couple of games for them was really hard for the pair of them. Both made their debut against Manchester City, didn't they? And it just didn't quite work. There's that to consider as well. I wonder whether you have any recollection of what it was like when Bruno came in January. Obviously, Vidic and Evra, that happens, but Bruno's probably the most recent addition in a January that's been phenomenal. What was it like when he turned up at Carrington?
Yeah, I think you could get a sense as soon as he walked into the dressing room, the sort of presence that, without even seeing him play, that he was going to have on the team, and the impact he was going to have on the team. Very calm, very mature. The way he went about his work in the gym, and very dedicated, very passionate. The way he spoke about football. Again, a great lad off the pitch, very authentic, and you can see that the impact he's had on this team for the time he's been here now has been immense. The way he can deliver balls, the way he can assist, the way he scores goals, and certain moments of the game when it's hanging in the balance, he's certainly one that can change the game on its head.
Yeah, and he's another great guy as well. So he's another one that remembers your name and says hi in the tunnel. So,
but I agree. But I just think that's part about being at Man United. I think everyone is like that here. That's just the sort of the culture and the environment that when you walk into Carrington, you get.
You should know people's names.
You should know people's names, yeah.
And Sir Alex Ferguson bred that from everybody at the club. No matter if you were on reception desk, you were a chef, you were a kit man. You know everybody and you treat everyone the same, and that's a life lesson.
Tell this story often to people who ask what it's like. Very first time I came here, I was working for the BBC and we were interviewing Ryan Giggs. Walked in, said hello, introduced myself, did the interview. 2 weeks later, Giggsy was up again. Came back down and I walked in and he went, "Hi Liam, how are you?" And I thought, it just completely blew me away that this player who must speak to hundreds, if not thousands of people every week as he's going about his day-to-day life, had enough presence of mind to either have been briefed that this was who was coming or to remember. And whichever one it was, it absolutely blew me away. And I think that is kind of what you're saying, isn't it? That's a thing about this football club.
It goes a long way, doesn't it? Just knowing someone's name. I'm actually not very good with names. Probably a good time to say it.
You do work for the football club.
I never forget a face.
Yeah.
But I'm not great with names. Similar to technology. But I now do have working technology thanks to Liam. Guys, what are we up to for the rest of the week?
It's this week. The next 7 days are absolutely bananas in terms of the amount of football that we've got going on. So we've obviously, done bits and pieces, but then the whole run up, I think there's something for me like 6 games in 7 days if we include the women's team, the under 18s, the under 21s and the first team. It's just pandemonium. So no complaints, because there is nothing better than talking about Manchester United for a living.
What about you, Phil?
Pretty chill. I'm going to try and get to a few games and watch as much football as I can.
What's on the Christmas list?
For me, or for gifting, you mean?
I actually do know what you're getting because Kaya told me, but what would you like?
Helen, you know what I'm like. I don't want anything, nor do I need anything. I always say, don't buy me anything. I'm not interested. It's all about the kids.
Have you contributed to the kids' presents?
One of them that you could get on Amazon.
Phil actually helped me out in the week because I had to text him about a present for Johnny.
I did.
Which actually arrived.
Sorted.
Yeah, I think he'll like that.
What is it?
Well, Johnny might listen. I can't give away the presents.
Well, I mean, you could.
Jeez.
It isn't. All right.
It isn't something you wear on your feet. Guys, thank you. Pleasure as always. And for you watching or listening, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen or watch us on your podcast platform. And we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.